Hey, everybody. How are you doing on this fine Sunday evening? We're here to celebrate tonight and have some fun and be a little silly. Got a silly hat. So, we'll have a little bit of silly fun tonight celebrating the Supporters Shield victory. Obviously, we talked about it last week because last week is when we actually won the Supporters Shield, but it felt more real this weekend because we got to celebrate with the trophy. And so we should have some good stories. Ed is running late, so he will hopefully be with us in the next 30 minutes or so. But, we'll talk about some things before he gets here. I don't want to go too deep in his experience because Ed was fortunate enough to be on the field for part of the presentation. So we'll get into that stuff in a few minutes. But before we get too far, let's say a big thank you to our sponsors. Start off with Caneswear. Caneswear is where you need to go to get all your Inter Miami gear. The messiest wall in all of South Florida, right there in Davie, Florida. Just located south of 595 on University Drive. Mention Futbol Miami TV. Save yourself a little bit of money. And, get all your gear. I always like to go there and get hats and things like that. They need you to buy jerseys because they've got a lot of them. And so they really want you to buy some jerseys. So go and support Inter Miami. Caneswear and Inter Miami. Support them both. All right. Also, if you want to buy a house, this is who you need to talk to. Mia Rodrigues is the GOAT of all realtors. You can reach her at 754-269-6923. Scan the QR code. Get directly to her, and she speaks 3 languages, Portuguese, English, and Spanish. So she has got you covered on any of your home buying or selling needs. All right, so let's get active in the chat. Also, as always, the voicemail is active. I've already got a couple voicemails in the queue. So let's say hi to you guys that are in the chat, and as you jump into the chat, if you're joining a few minutes later or what have you, say hello, and we'll talk to you. Especially without Ed, when it's just a one-man show, I lean on you guys a lot more. So let's go with that. All right, first off, I see in the chat David Guzman. Welcome. How you doing? God is calling out Ed. Where is Ed? My guess is in his house, but could be in the car too. The real question is, where is Ed? Because he's not here. It's so funny because Kata obviously wrote that chat before we went live, and we're still asking that question, where is Uncle Ed? B. King congratulating Ed for well-deserving to see Uncle Ed on the field right in front of me at the stadium. One of the nicest guys I know. Yes, he is. Kevin Gonzalez checking in. Hello, Peter and Uncle Ed. So glad you got to hold the supporter shield. See you and the Legion on Friday night. One World, One Goal is here as well. She likes the hat. See, Inter Miami gives away bucket hats like left and right. In all the years that they've, been active, it seems like they give out a bucket hat once a year. It seems like they've only given out like one regular hat. They get, this 305 kind of Royal Caribbean hat. Only one like baseball cap, which is what I prefer to wear. But they do give out a lot of bucket hats. This was the most recent bucket hat they gave out last night. And I'm not a bucket hat guy. I feel like I look stupid wearing a bucket hat. But I want to be a bucket hat guy because I see other people wearing them and I think, hey, that guy looks cool. Why can't I look cool? But I just look like a dorky white guy with a bucket hat. So, but I appreciate that. One World, One Goal. Julio Enriquez is here. He's also a realtor. If you want to buy a house up in Port St. Lucie, contact him. Louis Rodriguez. Congrats to Uncle Ed, Peter, and Julio. Look what you guys brought to South Florida. We'll talk a little bit more about that because I already previewed the voicemails. And so, I already know where one of them is going to go, and I've got a few props to go along with that. Esteban Dito, always causing trouble. What's going to happen here? Peter looking like El Chavo del Ocho. To those who know what I'm talking about, rocking that bucket hat. I do not know what you're talking about. So there's that. Jose Velasquez saying Uncle Ed is famous. He is now, Apple TV star. The Apple TV star, Uncle Ed. That's, I think, how we now need to refer to him when we introduce him. Instead of everybody's favorite uncle, it's now the MLS season pass, Apple TV star, Uncle Ed. However, did you notice? I watched back because I was there at the stadium, and I didn't have as good a view of it as B King. I was a little further away and on the other side. So I rewatched it, and they show Julio carrying the shield, and then he passes it to Ed. And once Ed gets it, it seemed like they pretty much cut away from him real quick. So he didn't get as much time on screen as maybe he deserves. But anyways, it was fun. Sport Shorts is here. And let's see who else. Esteban Mejia. Seeing Uncle Ed and Julio on the TV with the shield kind of teared up. Nice. There you go. I agree with you, Esteban Mejia. Peter looks like Gilligan. Yep. You're probably right. That's probably, a good rep. Yeah. Yeah. She likes his shirt. Here, let's show the shirt a little bit better. Here, let's get rid of this. This is the Supporter Shield shirt created by Southern Legion. See? Here. Southern Legion. Supporter Shield. Like they did a good job with it, right? They did a good job with that. Julio was at the stadium and you didn't get a bucket hat? Oh, man. They always have... So they advertise when they give away stuff that it's at every gate, but it's a little misleading. So if you come into gate 1, which is like obviously the main gate in the front, they have it like right when you first walk in that gate. They generally have a table whatever they're giving away, it's right there. If you're coming on gate 2, which is the one closer to the green lot, closer to where the supporters are, then it's not right there because I just probably not enough space. It's off to your left and down a little bit, closer to that Messi wall. The wall where they have the Messi mural, and that's where we came in this time. So we came in and we went down there and we got one. So that's where you would get it. Also here as well is Sergio. No, I did not buy this shirt. I'm one of the, if you don't know, I'm one of the founding members of Southern Legion. So they hooked us up. I'm assuming they might have sold them to other members or given them away to Southern Legion members. I'm not exactly sure, but this is a Southern Legion created shirt. And it actually says something on the back that says first supporters, something like that. So it's cool. Tank is here. So we can get into the game a little bit. Roller coaster of emotions. I agree. Anybody else new? Ed's watching. On my way, Peter. He's on his way to save me. Just a couple more minutes, he says. All right. I can. Oh, stand up, Pete, so we can see the whole t-shirt. I'll show you the back here. Let's see the back. Let me move the microphone out of the way just for a second. But hang on. Let me remove your comment. All right. See? Can you see the back? Right here? Did a pretty good job at the back as well. And, I see Eric Thomas showing up a little bit late, but he's here. I have Eric Thomas's Southern Legion hat in my hat closet. It's waiting for you, Eric. Whenever you come back to South Florida, it's waiting for you. You left it in my car or my house. I don't remember. One of the two. And then Baldwin is here. God is asking, did Ed and Julio sign those shirts? They should. They are the stars right now. They are the stars. Anyways. All right. So why don't we do this? Why don't we, since we, there's a lot of things we could go down the path of the game and things like that. I really kind of want to save some of the memories of the Shield and things like that with when Ed arrives. But as far as the game, I do agree with Tank when he said a roller coaster of emotions, because when we went down that first goal, I'm like, no worries. I'm not worried. We've been here before, right? We do that a lot. Actually, one of the cool stats that we have, where is it? So we are the. Wasn't there a point? There was, I don't know. We're like, I heard somebody give the stat. I thought Ed sent me this stat, but maybe not. But we've won more games from a goal behind than anybody else, right? So 1 goal down, not concerned at all. Been there, done that. We do that a lot. 2 goals down, I started getting a little concerned. New England Revolution at the time were the current single season record holders for points with 71. And so, or what? No, they had 73 or something like that. Here, I actually have a graphic for that. So they were at 73 points. There you go. That's why I have the graphics. I would forget stuff. So they were at 73 points. So we're playing the team that is the current title holders, right? For that record. And it seemed like they were definitely coming out strong, even though they're missing some of their better players. They haven't had a good season. You got to wonder, is Caleb Porter, how much time does he have? I always thought he was a very good coach. He did well with Columbus Crew, did okay with Portland. Was a little concerned. But once we got a couple goals back, we're even. No worries. And then, of course, Messi. I mean, Messi, he just made it look easy. Made it look easy. So, anyways, let's go back to a comment here. And then we're going to get to voicemails. We might go to voicemails a little bit earlier. But Jose Velasquez is asking the question, how does the playoffs work? So the first round of the playoffs, well, first off, in the playoffs, here, let me go to another image. I think I have this one. That's the points. Nope, not that one. Not that one. Okay, I didn't save this one. All right, so let's go back. So anyways, there's the, I thought I saved the Audis thing. Yeah, let me just pull up. Let me do this. Let's go web and show that. Here, we'll just show it this way. So here's the bracket for the MLS Cup playoffs. So you've got 4 teams that are in the wild card. So you've got, as far as we're concerned, you've got Atlanta playing Montreal for the play-in game. So they're currently not really in the playoffs. They're in the wild card. So we will play whoever wins that. So likely, I mean, I'm hoping we play Atlanta. That could be kind of fun. One of our great viewers, a new Weissman, is an Atlanta fan. It'll be fun to play against them. And that series, this first is best of 3. So that's just how that goes. Best of 3. We have home field advantage. So we will play the first game at home Friday. Then we'll play away. If we win 2 games or win and tie, there's no need for a third game. So we won't have that home game. Then once you move on to the next round, it's just single game eliminations. And then as you see, we'll just kind of work our way to where we're then playing somebody from the West. More than likely playing one of the teams from LA is what it kind of feels like. And so that's basically just a brief overview of how the playoffs work for anybody that's newer to the league or what have you. So, and oh, by the way, the wild card game, I do know the Atlanta versus Montreal game, Tuesday night. So everybody should be watching that Tuesday night game to see who Inter Miami is going to play. So anyways, I see that Caesar popped in. Louis is throwing out OG Caesar. One of the, Caesar was also, as we talk about, we did this a little bit last week where we kind of went down the path of talking about the history of kind of the supporters and stuff like that and down here. And some people kind of like that. So maybe we'll have to do that more often, give a little bit of education on where things came from. But Caesar was there with us very, very early. I mean, he jumped in. We met him during some of the early days of Miami FC, and he had drums. And we're like, we need you. And he was one of our boys in the groups for a long time. And he's since retired from those. Drums are heavy, and I'm sure he'll tell you in the chat. But they're heavy, and so he's retired from the drumming. But one of the OGs for sure. So was there early on as well. Anyways, let's go to a voicemail. It's time for your voicemail.
Hello.
Woohoo! Hey, Peter and Uncle Ed, Don Roberto and Don Bear and all the great fans. Well, congratulations and a special shout out to Peter. I really want to say how impressed I am that you made a case for Julio to be acknowledged as the fact of, holding that supporter shield and having him on the field. And that was like such a great moment. I was like, please let it be Julio. Please let it be Julio. Because everyone had texted and messaged and tweeted, and Peter announcing it so eloquently on the show last week. What a great job Julio did keeping all the fans. He's the glue that kept all the fans together, never gave up. And it was wonderful to see Uncle Ed as well, because there were so many events. There was like 3 people showed up. Always Uncle Ed was there with a smile on his face and his good sense of humor. And I know that part of the reason Beckham wanted to open the team and fought so hard is he knew these fans here were very, very special, and that's all of you guys. And Peter, you of course as well. And they played. The game was awesome. I appreciate the team themselves for putting on such a great, event afterwards, because with the home and away, we didn't get to do that before. And with the home and away with the Fusion, we didn't get to do that before, who also set a points record back in the day that held a long time. And so this was full circle. And the way the team played, getting 6 goals with that exciting attacking soccer, that's the way our Fusion was, like week in, week out, led by the wonderful Ray Hudson. Now you see why we always compare to that, and we always fight so hard to get the team to return. So congratulations. I feel like our work here is done. You guys have been amazing stewards of the game, and you couldn't find better fans. We are truly the best fans in MLS. Love you guys. Love the show. It's Italia. Peace out. Of the aficionados. Peace out.
Yeah, it is pretty rewarding for some of us that have been around for a long time. We were there when we lost the Miami Fusion. You feel gutted when you lose your team, things like that. And then and they had the supporter shield as well. And actually, I've got a photo I want to share with that. But they, so it feels sweet to be able to have a team back, work, and there is a lot of things that we kind of did in the background to kind of make this happen. So yeah, it's fun. But we're the kind of people that be forgotten, and it doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, the team's here, and that's all that really matters. And so, but it was really, really nice to see that Julio and Ed. But so we knew, we had a good idea. Not last week, we didn't know, but as of a couple days ago, we knew that Julio would be part of the presentation. Jorge Mas requested for Julio to be part of the presentation. So there's respect there from the ownership group of what he did and to get us to where we are. So he personally requested to have Julio part of the thing. So yeah, people that either chatted him, texted him, tweeted him, did a little monologue, whatever. It worked, right? So that's all good. And then the last minute, maybe the day before or something like that, Ed got invited to be part of the presentation as well. I heard some people say, hey, what about Peter or whatever? I saw some, but look, at the end of the day, I was always kind of like, I don't know. Not always. In the very beginning, it was me and Julio, and I was very vocal and active and all that. But for many, many, many years, I've kind of taken a step back. And so, those guys were much more involved than I was. So it made more sense that, and also, let's be honest, Ed's way more likable than I am. I mean, I'm a little prickly sometimes. So Ed's just a big teddy bear. Everybody loves Ed. So it was good. It was perfect. I was so happy for them. There was no jealousy whatsoever. Just super happy that they were a part of it. And I was pumping up Julio. Julio was trying to act cool. Like, this is no big deal. I'm like, shut up, man. This is cool. This is a big deal. You get to be out there on the field. You get to hold the trophy. Anyways, I don't want to go too much further on that because I want Ed to share his stories if he ever joins. If he doesn't, I guess we're just going to, I'll continue. Anyways, we got another voicemail. Let's go with that.
Good evening, everybody. How the hell are you doing today? It's America's favorite uncle, Uncle Ned. You know what Uncle Ned says, boys and girls. Fam. Damn. A damn. Shout out to my two favorite hot co-hosts, Uncle Ed and Downtown Peter Brown. And it's not going to be a long gas bag, message. It's just me just basically giving you guys the roses that you guys deserve for sticking up for Inter Miami when the chips were down and he actually didn't exist. There was no Inter Miami. There was nothing in South Florida. But it was you guys, along with Julio Caballero, who basically held it down for MLS in Miami. People don't realize that, sure, hey, I supported it in Miami from this day and that day and so on and so forth. But nobody was putting in the work like Julio was and Uncle Ed was and Peter Brown was. Yesterday was the culmination and the basically the pinnacle of that hard work and that effort, winning the Supporters Shield and getting the points record in a single season. And again, my hat's off to you guys. Who would have thought it? Because 10 years ago, 2014, I'll paint the picture. Beckham announced that he was going to start a team in South Florida. But between 2014 and 2018, there was a lot of non-activity, so to speak. Maybe there was a little bit, but behind the scenes, but we didn't hear anything and see anything. And it got to the point where even Don Garber was pressuring Beckham to actually start a team in South Florida and get the investors together to start a team, or he's going to pull the plug on a potential team in South Florida. And a lot of people don't realize that. But it did come all together at the last minute when the Moss family joined the ship and helped resurrect this club in South Florida. But once again, if it wasn't for you guys, we wouldn't be here. So my hat's off to you, and I congratulate you guys immensely. And shout out to the rest of the family. Go into Miami. And one last thing, let's kick Columbus Crew ass because I'm tired of hearing it from them.
Part 2 of that.
Yeah, this is Uncle Ed again. Uncle Ned again. I gotta leave this last message. What I was saying is, last thing is, let's go ahead and kick Columbus Crew's ass because I'm sick and tired of these guys. I never knew a fan base could be that whiny, that cheesy. We don't even have a rivalry with Columbus Crew. But boy, you would have thought we slapped their mama, kicked their dog, burnt down their house, took their Barbie doll, whatever. It's tiring already. Shut up. And the last thing we need to do is, my only regret is that when we do play against them, because we will be playing against them, my only regret is that game is not going to be at their home arena because, boy, it would be sweet to whoop y'all asses back in your home than when we just whooped y'all asses 2 weeks ago in your own home arena. So all of that whining and all that kind of stuff, you better back it up when we see you guys in about 3 weeks, all right? But anyway, shout out to my guys, and shout out to you, Julio. Shout out to Southern Legion. Bless up. Peace.
All right, and I think Ed is ready now. I hang on, let me unmute you because you were noisy. Ed, we're going to get to what some of the things that he said there. And I know we have a super chat. We'll get to the super chat in a second. But people were wondering where Uncle Ed was going to end up being. Esteban says, hang on. Peter, Ed is inside a car in the dark. Ed, who are you hiding from or for?
Peter Brown, I am hiding from my wife. I should have paid the bill at the restaurant we were at. This place, Ecuadorian place, La Pata Gorda. They should sponsor us after this. But I skipped out right before they showed up with the bill, so she's not going to be too happy.
So Kata was right, because Kata says, poor Ed, always hiding in the car from the wife. With love, Ed. No, it was nice seeing you get recognized. So Louis Rodrigues says, maybe you're hiding from your manager. That would be if it was during the week, not on the weekend.
She is my manager. So
your life manager.
She manages every part of my life. So
yeah,
that's how it is.
Anyways, there was a lot of love in the phone calls that came through. I don't know how much of that you heard, Ed, but Uncle Ned was going down memory lane a little bit, saying there was nothing here, and some people in the chat, I think Tank did say there were some lower division teams, and we supported them. So we were a big part of those lower division teams as well. We kind of went down this path a little bit last week, but I actually had a few show and tell things because I already listened to this ahead of time, so I kind of knew where he was going to go. Talk about like our involvement from the very beginning. I mean, and I've brought these things out once in a while, but this one from, we thought we were going to have an MLS team in 2010. We thought this was going to be the Barcelona-Miami MLS team. We were involved with that, passing out flyers for Marcelo Clore. Then at one point, just because people were talking, Ed, about how it's really cool for us and stuff, and those of us that were part of the early days where we were, the hard part of supporting a team that doesn't exist, right? The hard part of creating a supporters club for a team that doesn't exist, where we had these shirts, MLS Miami. We then at one point, I think we even have one of these where it was like,
MLS 20.
Yeah, I think we had MLS 20. This was not the year. That was supposed to be the 20th team in the league. Then we thought we were going to be the 22nd team in the league.
Oh, 21st. We had the MLS 21, MLS 20, 21, and 22.
I couldn't find that shirt. So I found 22. And then we got so tired of, the number changing that we just went
skipping.
MLS next.
They kept skipping us, Peter. And it was just like, so many years that we were going to be in, supposedly. Yeah. And we weren't. So it was like, we just said, whatever. We're going to say we're next.
We're next. That's awesome. Because someday you'll be next. And and our colors were these kind of blue, for the Miami City colors. And we always, we had the black part right. We were on point with the black. So, So yeah, we've been around. So,
I got a lot of love from people. I put some pictures up on X. Now it's called X, Twitter, and a lot of people. I saw people in the stadium. As a matter of fact, when I was going in, I got to give a shout out to oh man, what's his name? I drew a blank right now. Gabe Gabor, he was there. Noah Allen's dad was also there.
Oh, I didn't see him.
Gosh, what's the guy? The guy that used to do the announcing for Orlando City, who lived down here. I saw him too. God, I can't forget. I forgot his name right now. I'm drawing a blank because I'm getting old, Peter. And but you almost had it, didn't you?
He was wearing glasses when he was in Orlando, trying to make himself a bit of a character. Yeah. I know him. I just can't remember his name right now.
I saw him yesterday. All of them, they gave me a hug. It was really cool. Who else did I see? Man, there were tons of people, just, who remembers us. Oh, everybody always asks for Peter Brown. Where's Peter at? Where's Peter at? How come Peter's not here? Getting the supporter shield. It was just they didn't have enough space for everybody. We were the only group that had two people. Everybody else had just one representative.
Right, and they were mixed. Like you had a shield person with another, a siege person with somebody from another group.
Vice City, yeah.
Right,
and the other two also, and then we were the only ones that had two. So I thought that was pretty good.
I touched on that. There were people that said, hey, why wasn't Peter there or whatever, and there. And I touched on this a little bit before, Ed, is that look, Julio, you had to pick, right? We all made a case for Julio. Julio had to be picked. Jorge wanted Julio. It happened, right? Then it's like now the club, our supporters group has got to pick somebody. If it's between you and me, let's just say, Ed, if it's between you and me, you're winning every time, right? Because you're more lovable. You're just, everybody's favorite uncle. It's like Ed is more of a people person. And I'm just kind of quiet. I may be noisy on the Sunday night show, but everywhere else I'm just kind of quiet and maybe even a little prickly. But everybody loves Ed, and so it just made sense. So it was perfect.
Yeah, I guess they voted for it. I thought it would have been probably JC since he's the president or whatever.
That made sense too. Yeah, if it wasn't going to be one of these old people, like us, then it made sense that it was going to be JC. Baldwin saying, Peter running things behind the scenes and in the shadows. Yeah, kind of like that a little bit. Not anymore, but once upon a time. All right. We actually, this is a little bit late, but I do want to get to this. Caesar with a super chat, $5 super chat. Thank you, Caesar. Had a mini strikers reunion yesterday at the Fort Lauderdale United match. Saw Kenny, Russell, Mitchell, and Beetle Hotshot. Oh, Hotshot was there. Okay, yeah. And amazing Inter Miami CF season. Now get the star. So yeah. I would have gone to the game had it not been against Inter Miami. I would have loved to have been there, but that's cool. That's cool that they had a little strikers reunion. That was good.
That's cool. Too bad we couldn't be there, like you said. But yeah, we couldn't not go to this game. It was like very important for us to show up. I'm sure you probably covered it already with the points leader. I'm doing the game day vlog. Peter did he covered some parts that I wasn't able to, which was perfect. So you're gonna get to see most of the goals. Maybe not live, but you'll get to see them. And
I'm not the best.
No, but it was good. Thanks for helping me, Peter, cover that. And it was awesome. You also got some scenes that you weren't able to see on Apple TV, which was me holding up the supporter shield. I like that. It was good. There you go.
Yeah, I got to bring you back into the picture here. Where are you?
Well, believe it or not, I'm still here.
Yeah, I know you're still here, but nobody can see you.
But yeah, that's
there you go.
That's Julio Caballero holding it. He's so serious, man.
Look how serious Julio was. Look, I spent I spent a good chunk of the tailgate party telling Julio and trying to coach Julio and Ed on what they should do. You get this opportunity probably once, right? So, they want you to follow the rules and be so good and this and that. But once you're walking and you've got the shield in your hand, you're on stage basically. Nothing they can do.
Yeah.
Celebrate. Don't be so serious, Julio. Sitting there being so stiff. Now, look, I'm saying that, and I would have done the same thing. But I'm now the backseat driver here. I could tell them what I think they should do because I knew I probably would. I would follow the rules, but they should have. He should be a little more celebrate. He did a little bit. I saw him hold it to the fans.
I had to tell him to do it, Peter, because he didn't want to do it. He was like quiet, and yeah, he was like, all business and Mr. Serious. And I was like, right before I told him, dude, soak it in, man. This is, take your time. Don't hurry. He still went fast, in my opinion.
Yeah, he
I
got
would have
that
gone slower.
serious look. And Ed,
Yeah.
did you watch it back on Apple TV?
I did watch it back. Unfortunately, they cut off right when I was getting it because I wanted to make sure I
That's
didn't
what I was
have it
gonna
upside
say.
down.
They
Yeah,
cut you.
they did, the bastards, man. How
Bastards.
dare they? They stole my mojo, man. What's up with that? But yeah, you were fortunately able to get some of the stuff on the jumbo screen or whatever,
Yeah.
and you could at least see me, holding it up and holding it up and stuff like that. So if anybody's got the raw images of that, send it to me because that's the only images that you have holding it up.
Yeah. There. Baldwin is saying, Peter, show this. I don't know what you're wanting me to show. Maybe what Ed's talked about. That's on video. I don't have the video loaded. I have pictures loaded. I didn't load up the video. That takes some more time.
Yeah.
And I can't do that on the fly. But yeah. So there was that. Wait a minute. Where's there we go. Ed also before the game, before the presentation, was practicing, as you can see.
Yeah, somebody had a little replica, which I thought was hilarious. So I had to hold it up, just in case I had a heart attack or something and didn't get a chance to hold up the real one. That one weighed a lot less.
Yeah, right. Well, but okay. So we talked about you were coaching Julio and what how did it feel for you, Ed? You're on the field. We kind of talked a little bit about this while we were waiting for you to get on. But those of us that were Miami Fusion fans, we had our team taken away Miami on the same year that the Fusion won the Shield. And I don't remember any kind of Shield presentation back then. It was such a long time ago. I don't remember. Definitely wasn't involved.
Right.
But this time, so we had things kind of stripped away from us. We worked hard for years to get to this point. And even when we get the team sucks for the beginning, not what we expected. And then you get this opportunity to walk out on the field, the same field that Messi is playing on, holding this amazing supporter-created shield. How did it feel for you?
Oh man, it felt awesome just to be out there. I would have wanted, maybe they could have mixed it up and maybe had, me pick it up first and then Julio give it to Jorge Mas. I think that would have been, because there were two of us. They could have split us up a little bit more. But it's all good. We still got to do it together. Like we helped bring this team to Miami together. With you. But yeah, the feeling out there is incredible. I wish I would have gotten to meet Messi. They didn't let us get out that far. We were right there, and he was right in front of us, but we couldn't get to him. Yeah, they had some security guys. They were like, okay, you guys can stick around, but you can't move from here. We did move a little bit, so I was able to get a couple of players. Try to say hi to Campana. He kind of ignored us. He did take pictures with some other supporters. But his parents were nice. I actually talked to them, and I should have told them, man, you guys, you should show some manners to your son, because the second time he shot me down and wanted me to take a picture. First time I was able to take a picture, but this time he was in a hurry. So
does he know you're part of the Ecuadorian mafia?
I don't think he does know that I'm part of the Ecuadorian mafia. His parents know now, and they were really nice, but he didn't. So
So I get So it goes to say you're not going to have a Campana shirt like I do.
Definitely will not. Yeah, he's shot me down a couple times. He's got a lot of stuff to do to make up to me. So
I think you told me there was a couple like good looking girls there on the field, and that he was he was talking to them a little bit. He saw look, Ed. Let's be honest.
Yeah,
couple good looking girls. He's probably, I'm assuming, single, good looking guy, and then there's you.
Right, and Julio, which doesn't help.
I'm not saying anything about it. Just he could talk to a couple of maybe good-looking girls or you.
Yeah, I'd probably pick the two
what
good-looking
would you
girls
do?
Too. Yeah, I'd go with the good-looking girls.
I know what I would do.
Yeah, you talk to Julio.
Exactly, I go see Julio.
But yeah, I mean, no, like I said, the feeling was great to be there, to experience that. It was kind of all full circle. We were up there also, and ironically, without you again, because you should have been up in that first picture as well when we first they first announced it with David Beckham. You should have been up there
Oh
with
yeah,
us.
that was some of those things were. It's in Miami, this is before COVID, and I worked in an office, and it's hard.
Yeah,
Those days it was hard.
you couldn't get out. Yeah,
Some of the chat as we're throwing Campana under the bus. Tank says he's got a beautiful girlfriend. Damien says I think he has a girlfriend. But look,
yeah,
even if you have a girlfriend,
yeah. You're still gonna be polite.
still going to be more polite to the girls than you are to Ed. I mean, let's be honest. No offense, Ed.
I don't know what my wife saw in me, but she must have seen something. Maybe I was a good talker.
But after the game, somebody did ask in the chat, please tell me this was not Photoshopped. Because yes, I do have those skills. I could do something like this. But no, we actually did get to hold the shield. And I saw on social media that we had to hang around for quite a while to get the shield. It looks like the people that were part of the Independent Supporters Council, whatever it is, were taking the shield to the different groups. Because I saw, Vice City folks, in the parking lot with a shield. But it feels like we might have spent more time with it because we had that shield for a very long time.
We were last.
Right.
Yeah, from what I know, we were last. They went through everybody else. We were last, so we get to hold on. Everybody basically who was there got to take a picture with it.
Right.
So that's good.
And I will tell you, the shield is heavier than it looks. It's 35 pounds, and 35 pounds doesn't sound like a lot, but I don't know. When it was handed to me, it was kind of like it's a surprise. Like I already knew it's 35 pounds, and I could carry 35 pounds, no problem. But just I don't know, you get it. You're like, whoa, there's a little more weight to.
Yeah, it's not. It's also a little awkward to carry.
Yeah.
Doesn't have any handles to hold on to it. Maybe they should do that in the future. We have like a couple of handles in the back so you can grab it.
Right.
But yeah,
Tank says I should have run away with it.
There is potential that you could drop it. Yeah, man, and it's funny because I wanted to talk to one of the guys that was with the aficionados, who was the last president. He's now a member of Vice City, and he was telling me at the tailgate right before just some stories about when they had the shield back in the fusion days. And I was like, man, you got to get on the show. But unfortunately, he hadn't made plans already. Otherwise, he would have spoken with us. That would have been really cool just to go back in memory lane and talk about the shield then and now.
Well, back then, the shield was only the inside part. It was the chevron. It was only that triangle chevron, as I understand. And it grew. And, since we're talking about Miami Fusion and the shield, check this out. I might be the only person that cared enough to do this. Here's the thing, too, is most people, at least that I saw, most people that in the, say, Southern Legion, a lot of them, let's be honest, they're newer MLS fans. And nothing wrong with that. So they don't know the history of the shield per se. And I was the one that said, show me let's see where the fusion is. And some people are like, oh, they were interested in that. But no, let me point it out. Let's find it. And so I wanted to get a picture where it showed the fusion. Not the best picture. It's at night. It's shiny. It's a little hard to see. But one thing you can also see in this shield, though, Ed, is it's a little dinged up. You could tell that the fans, get to kind of hold it and move it and play around with it. It's a little scratched up. It seems, which is actually cool though, because it shows some wear and tear.
Yeah, it shows its age. It's been around for a long time now, and I'm glad that there's still that tradition. And there's the 2024 Inter Miami, it's almost at the very top, which is even better. It's right there. It's almost spread in the middle.
Yeah, because when just before or after, I think we took that picture. I was like, let me see it. Do we have our inscription already, and how does it look? Because if you remember, the inscription on the league's cup looked like it was done by a first grader.
Yeah,
it was horrible. where this one looks good. Even going back to the early days, it looks like it's the same font. It matches. It looks fresh. It looks good. But yeah, I was curious if it was already inscribed or what have you. But they took care of that. It's done. We got our name on there, and it was very, very cool.
It looks good, yeah. But yeah, the other trophy, the Leagues Cup one, yeah, looked kind of terrible if I remember.
Yeah, I
Brand new
hear
too.
Esteban saying, geez, that plate sure looks to have been around the block. Please do not eat off that plate, not ever for gimmicky reasons. Look, me and Ed already had ideas of fun things we could do with the plate if they let us. But here's the thing too, is I don't know what we should say and what we shouldn't say. But, I've heard the Independent Supporters Council, they're very strict on the usage of the shield and all that. So I don't know if we went and had fun with it like we want, Ed, we might get it taken away. So that's a problem.
Probably.
So,
well, it's funny because Lewis was telling me that he almost got to keep it. There was, I remember, somebody had said that that they didn't want to give it back, and so I wanted to hear that story first.
Oh yeah.
I told him, don't tell me the story yet, because I wanted to try to get him on the show. Unfortunately, it didn't work out, but hopefully we'll get him sometime soon. I remember he was the last of the Fusionato presidents, so he got to keep it for a while. But yeah, I'm wondering to see who actually gets to keep it. We thought the Southern Legion was going to get to keep it.
Yeah, apparently it's back in Cincinnati. I don't know if we're supposed to say that, but we did. I did. And it's I think they're trying to figure out who gets to hold it. If we get to hold it, because that's why I said it to me it's weird. I get it. This Independent Supporters Council, I think we went down a little bit of the history last week. I did a lot of deep dive research on it as much as I could, and they paid for it years ago, so it makes sense. And they need to be stewards of the shield. It makes sense. It's $18,000 shield, if I remember correctly. It's expensive, so I get it. So you got to be part of the Independent Supporters Council. But let's be honest: when you're a brand new team, you have new supporters group clubs, or even if you're not a new supporters club, we were not new, but we did not necessarily know that there's some sort of Independent Supporters Council rules. Nobody knows. Right. Nobody reaches out to you. See, that's where this Independent Supporters Council should reach out to each. I don't expect them to reach out to the clubs. You reach to the groups. You reach out to the team. You reach out to the team and say, hey, by the way, tell your supporters clubs to join our independent council so that if and when someday you win the supporters shield, you can host it.
Right.
But that doesn't happen. And so it's like, how do you know you're supposed to be a member of the Independent Supporters Council until you win it? And then once you win it, you're like in a scramble to become a member, which is where we're at now.
Yeah, and I did speak to one of them about that, and they said that, they're going to get better at it from here on. Just nobody had approached them, and we didn't know we had to approach them.
Right. So our old friend Pedro in the chat, and we just kind of answered that question right there. And it's in Cincinnati because Cincinnati won it last year, and apparently the supporters club there was a member of the Independent Supporters Council. So, there you go. But there is that, at the end of the day, I was like, somebody said I should run off with that. It's crazy to think that they just will trust a group of people just because they filled out a form and is asked to join. Okay, you're accepted, blah, blah, blah. You don't really know us. And you're going to hand me this expensive trophy and say, you guys get to hold on to this for a year, and then you will present it to the next year's winner. That's an expensive trophy to just kind of hand off. What if somebody steals it? What if somebody just drops it? And I'm sure it's been dropped. It looks like it may have been dropped. What happens?
It's got some dings on it.
Right. What if somebody gets wild with it? Like I would think it'd be cool to take it to the beach and put it in the sand, and it's like do all the Miami stuff with it, right?
Yeah, for sure, man. But yeah, they let's see who ends up with it. let's hope. Now we've got the playoffs to look forward to. Peter, I don't know if you covered that already.
We just talked a little bit about the bracket. Yeah, because somebody asked about the playoffs. So yeah, we did talk about the fact that we'll be playing Atlanta or Montreal. Who do you want to play, Ed? Who would you prefer to play, Montreal or Atlanta?
I just wanted to talk a little bit about how I thought DC was going to make it, and then they choked pretty bad.
But think about that. Pause there for a second. Think about the Golden Boot winner, Beneteke, is on a team that doesn't even make the playoffs. How do you win the Golden Boot and lose? That's a team that obviously has a horrible defense because clearly he scored a lot of goals.
Yeah.
And you don't make the playoffs.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. It's hard to believe that, him doing so well, scoring so many goals, that wasn't enough for that team. And yeah, their defense is pretty bad. They were in contention to the very last moment, and they had some good possibilities, but they just couldn't make it happen. And they didn't even score that last game. So, and it's crazy because Messi was able to score, and boy, did he do really well, scoring 3 goals and passing Campana. I mean, Messi just doesn't want to quit with all the things that he wins, all his records. I mean, he just took it away from Campana in one season, well, a season and a half, to Campana's 3 seasons.
Yes, I got sidetracked.
Peter, if you ask me, that's selfish. Messi's only thinking about himself.
Only thinking about himself.
By scoring so much. No, but that was, dude, what a game. I mean, we were losing, Peter Brown, but 2-0 at a point, and then, I always felt good about it, though. That was one of those games where you're just like, okay, we're down 2-0, but we could still do it. We still got time. There it is.
That's the points leader you're talking about, but also I don't this is the other image actually I was looking for here. This one because you were saying points and Campana and all. Look at how angry Higuain was when he was here.
Of course, he always looked kind of grumpy, didn't he?
Yeah, and when Campana did get the record for the goals, his own teammates told him, "Yeah, you're gonna hold on to this record for like 2 weeks."
Yeah, and that pretty much happened. So it happened with 3 goals in one game, and it's over, just like that.
Yeah. Some conversation here in the chat. Esteban saying, Peter, it's not expensive, Supporter Shield. It does not even receive maintenance. So I am sure they might have multiple plates in case it needs to be replaced. So FYI, like I said, I found an article before that said it costs $18,000 to create. Just a quick research right now during the show. It says it's valued. The Supporter Shield is valued at over $10,000. The shield is made of sterling silver and stainless steel, weighs 35 pounds. So, and the shield middle is expandable, and the name. So as more people are win it, they do add another plate on the back end of it. So it is expensive. And I think somebody else had written in their insurance. Yeah, I mean, obviously it has to be insured, but still, it's crazy to think that they just
it's
trust.
Going to get heavier. It's going to get heavier. They need to put something in the back so people can hold it, because that sticker's going to start falling. I mean, I'm sure it falls because some ladies at least were having difficulty with it yesterday. Imagine when they start adding some more names to it. That thing's going to be nuts. They're going to have to roll it to places. 20 years from now.
Agreed. It is getting heavier and heavier, and then Pedro, our old friend from the Striker days and Boca Raton FC, says, I expect to see that shield as a backdrop in Peter's studio. You might if they'll let me hold the shield. Can I host the shield and then use it as just part of the backdrop? Will they let me?
Kind of cool. If we get it, there might be an opportunity. I don't know how the deal works, whether the president holds on to it or the I don't know, the officers or whatever who gets to hold it. But if you might get your chance, Peter.
put it right here on the shelf. I can remove all this stuff and put it right there on the shelf.
Yep, take that bobblehead and and the stormtrooper out. Plenty of space back there.
Yeah. So I was asking you, who do you rather play, Atlanta or Montreal a little bit? Sergio says they'd rather play Montreal. They don't play on turf.
I got sidetracked on that one, Peter.
Yeah,
Brown.
I kind of feel like I'd rather play. Well, here's the thing: it'd be cool because we've got to hit. I don't know. I think Montreal plays us well. We've got Joseph Martinez, former player, that's now with Montreal. So kind of like, so that's a cool storyline. But then it's also cool because Atlanta, we've got a new Weissman, one of our friends here that supports Atlanta. So it'd be fun to play against them. It's also Tata's former team that he coached. So there's some coolness there. So I don't know.
They'd love to leave him out, I'm sure. They'd love to kick us out. That's going to be tough, man. And unfortunately, the playoff game is on Friday, man, which kind of ruins things for me. I might have to, become sick or something. Oops, I hope nobody from work's listening.
Sergio is asking, isn't McVay with DC United? Yeah. Now you see why we got rid of him. So, good point by Mr. Krabs. Oh yeah, Mr. Krabs. Miami has been on the Supporter Shield twice now. Yep, and we showed that here just a few minutes ago. Oh, and he's saying he forgot we went live. So go back. We've got pictures. Eric Thomas asking something here. Hey, Peter, speaking of the Shield, when a team wins a Shield, do they make a replica to leave in the trophy case or what? I have been asking everybody that question. I don't have an answer because I was told by just fans, somebody saying, well, no, of course not, because it's a supporter given award. The team holds it to celebrate and hands it back to the supporters, supposedly, right? And the supporters are the stewards of the Shield. So the thought process being, no, they don't get anything. But if you're the team, you have a trophy case. And you want trophies in there. You want all your trophies in there. So, yeah, if I'm the Moss brothers, I'm making a replica. You don't have to make one that's $10,000. You can make, because it doesn't ever have to be held. It just needs to look good in a display case, right? So I would think they should, but I don't know. I did hear there was maybe some contention over this shirt. The council might be a little bit protective over the iconography around the Shield. I'm not exactly sure, but we don't know if it's a
trademark thing or what.
Right. I did do a little Google research on and I couldn't find an answer as far as like other teams, like what they've done. So, I lean towards no, they don't. But if anybody knows, and if anybody here is watching from another MLS, if you're another MLS team fan and because your team has it, let us know in the chat. I would love.
I do have contact, Peter, with one of the ladies in the council.
Find out.
I should have thought about reaching out now, but maybe we'll get them for the next show.
Oh, yeah, we can. Yeah, I mean, we're gonna be. We could do more Supporter Shield talk for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Mr. Krabs talking about a few years ago, Philadelphia Union had a Captain America shield at the Supporter Shield. Yeah, because they couldn't get the shield shipped to them in time because of was that around COVID, wasn't it? And so I've heard a couple different stories, but the story that I had heard was there was a supporter who had like a very well made Captain America shield, because he's kind of like one of these guys that dresses up at conventions, right? And I think he might carry that at the stadium. And so they reached out to that guy to just use his shield. That's the story I had heard. Then I've heard other people say they just spray painted something and made their own. But I heard it was kind of like a guy that, what do they call that when you dress up at one of those Comic Cons?
Yeah, it was one of those dudes.
Cosplay. That's what it's called.
There you go, cosplay, dude.
Guyver checking in saying, let's add some handles on the back like a real shield. Yeah, like the Captain America thing, so you can put your arm through it.
Exactly. They need to do something like that so people could hold on to that thing because it's not easy to hold, man.
No, it's a little heavy and just awkward, like you said. Yeah. So, anyways, it seems like we could go on and on and on. This is a fun show. We didn't really talk about much other than just kind of our experience and our fun. I'm just scanning through real quick, see if there was any other last minute chat. Yeah, everybody's telling me cosplay. Yes, I just couldn't think of the name. Thank you, everybody. All right. Ed, are we doing anything tomorrow?
Yes, we're definitely going to do a show tomorrow. I already talked to Marco because we do want to speak in Spanish about the experience that we had. So we're going to definitely review all that. Maybe a couple of the goals that I was able to record because we don't monetize on that channel anyway. So we can show more stuff. So be sure to check that out in Espanol tomorrow on Futbol Miami TV ES. Marco El Oso Donoso and myself will be talking more about this subject, about the playoffs. And I hear my grandkids. I think they're coming.
Well, perfect timing. It's been a fun show. This show went so fast. Feels like I only had 30 minutes with you, Ed.
It was 30 minutes, I think.
Exactly. So, yeah, it was a lot of fun. Next week will be fun as well. So everybody, we'll see you then. The chats are still coming in. I think people would love to keep talking about the Shield. But anyways, we could do more Shield talk. The season's going to be ending soon. We'll talk about the playoffs, but then we've got a whole off season to talk about any other topic we want to do. There's a lot of other things we could talk about in the coming weeks, that we didn't really touch on yet. So make sure to come back and we'll do this again every Sunday or most Sundays. And thanks for watching, everybody. And as always, please like, share, and subscribe. And it's thanks to you guys in the chat. See you, everybody.